Individual vocabulary notebooks can be a useful tool in supporting students as they learn subject-specific and domain-specific terms. I say they can be useful because vocab notebooks could also be nothing more than a worksheet that adds little value. The key to a powerful vocabulary notebook is knowing that this is the place that holds students' growing understanding of a term. When a word is first introduced and added into the notebook, we cannot expect that students will have its meaning learned and memorized in a matter of days. Rather, we must provide students multiple opportunities to interact with the word over weeks, months even, and do so in a variety of ways. It's during this learning time that the vocab notebook is powerful. With each new word, students add it to the notebook, but then they return to the notebook numerous times to update their understanding, to add new thinking, to revise, polish, and fine-tune their applications of the word's meaning. Knowing that students need to be able to make multiple entries into the vocab notebook, it needs to be set up so that it has lots of different places and spaces within it. Let me show you two common templates that many teachers use. This is the Freyer model, where the vocab word is put in the middle and coinciding information is added around it. The word is fraction, and the student added in an explanation, synonyms, and, if there are antonyms, uses the word in a sentence and provides some examples. The Marzano template includes also a place for students to draw the word's meaning. We know that a visual representation is key to deep understanding. Those are two fairly universal templates, but there is no one way to do this. In fact, you might consider tweaking the elements on the vocabulary template. Let me show you what some real teachers have done and had great success with. This template was created by Chris Petro, a fourth grade teacher at Bailey Elementary in Chesterton, Indiana. Do you see the picture frame? See, that's where they put the drawing of the word's meaning, and then they use the frame to provide other important information. Now, that's one page per term. But Sherry Armstrong is a middle school teacher in Vigo schools, and she provided the wide vocabulary template, where the acronym stands for the term or word, draw a picture or illustrate it, define it, and provide an example in a sentence. So you could use a universal template like Freyer or Marzano. You could make your own like Petro or Armstrong. But I do want to show you one more example. Keep in mind that students need to interact, play with, and really work with a word for weeks and months. And each of those 4 samples included 4 or 5 different spaces to put their growing thinking. But there's possibility you're going to need more space than that. They're going to have more updates and entries than those templates allow. Let me show you one more example. Check this out. This is 1 page of the vocabulary notebook per term. Look at all those opportunities to update and add more thinking for a single vocabulary word. Marion Bucco is the principal at Douglas MacArthur Elementary in Crown Point, Indiana, and she recognizes that students are going to be going back to this notebook more than just 4 or 5 times. And so she and her teachers worked to build a template that include numerous spaces for students to put that new thinking. They may not use every line, every box, every place on the template, but it's there if they need it. In addition to definitions, explanations, examples, synonyms, antonyms, and a picture, they also said, hey, this word might come in different forms. The noun form, the verb form, what about an adjective form? And we're working on all these roots. Let's track the word part meanings. And I love the addition of these 2 bottom boxes, a place for tips and tricks to help you remember the word, or careful cautions, common confusions. And how about this? The word means something in science and something different in math. And I gotta share this last piece. Marian Bucco and her Douglas MacArthur Elementary staff realized that, hey, we're learning vocab in math and in science and in social studies and in language arts. What if we had a single vocabulary resource where students kept all of their growing academic vocabulary for all subjects? So they took that same template and they photocopied it on different colors of paper. And they called it the vocabulary book. And one color was for their language arts words, and one color was for their science words, and one color was for their math words, and one color was for their social studies words. And now students have it all in one place. So let me conclude with the most important thing. Vocabulary notebook templates are not about the template. It's not about filling out a worksheet, grading it, and putting points in PowerSchool. The whole point of vocab notebooks is a place for students to log their growing thinking. You don't grade it. It's a notebook. You can find and download all 5 Blackline Masters within the print article that corresponds with this video. And in that article, I also give you some digital notebook options.